Hey hunters, Lord here, back with another Monster Hunter Wilds video. Now the wonderful Monster Hunter team has released 3 new videos today detailing slightly more in-depth on the new mechanics in Wilds, as well as a greatsword overview. Now they said that they're planning to release a new weapon video every day until the opening night at Gamescom, which is August 20th, when we know we'll be getting a new trailer for Wilds, as well as the first hands-on playtest. Now today's video is going to cover their newest showcase of a key mechanic in Wilds, Focus Mode. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into it. Now we have known about Focus Mode for a while now, since they did drop a massive amount of information on the Wilds website after their latest trailer. Now we know that this will be replacing things like the Clutch Claw or Wire Bug as the key mechanic in Monster Hunter Wilds, so this is obviously going to be a huge part of the combat flow. Now, when entering Focus Mode, we get this reticle, which again is very reminiscent of the Slinger or Clutch Claw reticle from World. The reticle is used to aim your attacks or your guards in the direction that your camera is facing. Now, I'm not sure if this means that all weapons will have a way to guard while in Focus Mode. Now, of course, obviously, Greatsword has always had a guard, but the clip from the trailer where the Greatsword is used to keep the Doshaguma's mouth open gave me a thought that maybe other weapons, while maybe not having a real guard, like Charge Blade or Lance or something, they might get some interaction like this in Focus Mode that will negate damage or stop incoming attacks. The next thing we get to see is the wounding mechanic. Now this looks like it will be very similar damage system to the Clutch Claw system, but instead of having to clagger and grapple onto monsters to weaken the parts, just continuously attacking the same part will create a wound on that monster part. You can see it well here, but upon entering Focus Mode, the wounds will actually glow an even brighter red, and your reticle will change, making them even easier to target. Now, wounded parts will of course take more damage than usual, which will make this an important thing to keep an eye on in Wilds combat. You can also see just normal monster weak spots like the Chotacabra tongue here while in Focus Mode. Now this leads us into the next feature of Focus Mode, which are the Focus Strikes. Now while in Focus Mode, you can dial in on wounded parts or weak spots and unleash a new attack in Wilds for massive damage. Upon watching closer, I also noticed 2 other things that weren't explicitly mentioned in the trailer. Now number 1, these Focus Strikes look like they will always flinch the monster. You can see here on both the Greatsword and the Heavy Bowgun, once the Focus Strike connects, Chotacabra does the same exact flinching animation. Now this should help make the Focus Strikes more usable, as while watching this they look like they have a really long recovery animation, so this flinch will mean that you don't always have to wait for a big opening in a monster's moveset to get off Focus Strikes. Number 2, when you use the Focus Strike, it seems to, quote, use up the wounded part. As you can see here, the red glow and wounds go away after the Focus Strike finishes. Now I'm not sure how long that the wounds will persist on the monster. They may last a minute, 2 minutes, 30 seconds, something like that, but this might end up meaning that for optimal damage in Wilds, we might not use our Focus Strikes on wounded parts right away. Instead, we may get the wound, attack those parts for higher damage on our normal attacks, then when we know that the wounds are going to run out, that's when you use the Focus Strike to deal huge damage and get a flinch before restarting the process. You'll get to see this better in a bit, so just stay with me. So actually, while I was editing this, I went and looked at the website, and it does say that hitting a wound with a Focus Strike will actually destroy the wound. It will deal massive damage and stun the monster. So turns out I was right, speculated correctly, but this just confirms that even more. Now that's really all they showed us in the Focus Mode overview, but in the Greatsword overview, we did also get to see a couple of other things in Focus Mode. Now first we get to see is a Focus Mode charged uppercut attack with the Greatsword that seems to work almost like a counter attack, leading to a knockdown on the Doshaguma and a heavy attack to its face. Now we also see our hunter glowing red after connecting on this, and this tends to happen when an attack boost buff is applied to the hunter, so I like to assume here that maybe landing some of the Focus Mode guards or counters could either activate a skill that gives us an attack boost, like offensive guard, or just give us an attack boost in general. Of course, this is just me speculating, but hey, that's half of the fun of waiting for a new game, right? Now, we can also see that the Focus Strike will only take away the wounds that the weapon connects with during the strike. See how the face and shoulder wound go away, but the back leg wound persists on the Doshaguma? This goes back to that last point I made about focus strikes perhaps being a more situational usage rather than the go-to attack whenever you wound a part. Now next is the focus mode guard that we've already seen, leading into keeping Doshaguma's mouth open with the greatsword, which again is just super sweet. I hope every weapon has a couple things just like this, different monsters having awesome attacks that you just get to guard, and just these interactions will make the game feel so immersive. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of these weapons. We then get to see a focus mode attack, and this one appears that the Doshaguma hasn't yet noticed the hunter, so we could be seeing potential for opening attacks in a hunt, getting big damage using a focus mode attack to start off your hunts, which would be just really cool. All in all, I'm personally super stoked for focus mode. It seems to just be a massive improvement on the Clutch Claw system from World, and will make the combat flow even better. In my opinion, Monster Hunter already has some of the most impressive combat in any RPG, and focus mode looks like it'll just be taking it to a next level. What weapon are you most excited to see in the coming weeks? Let me know down below in the comments. That's going to do it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you're just as excited for Wilds as I am, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Monster Hunter content just like this. With all that being said, I want to thank you guys so much again for watching today's video. I wish you all a good day and happy hunting.